7 strange Halloween arrests. Number 1. A Halloween party arrested under anti-terror laws in North London. Students had their mad scientist-themed celebration disrupted when officers, conducting a routine inspection in the wee hours of a Sunday morning, misunderstood the nature of their event and suspected them of involvement in illicit activities. The private Halloween party was meticulously arranged by a circle of friends donned in pristine white lab coats and wigs. They had orchestrated a captivating presentation of staged experiments designed to amuse their guests. However, as the police entered the venue for their routine check, they encountered remnants of scientific props and plastic skeletons, causing them to mistakenly interpret these items as equipment related to terrorism or illegal drug production. Caretaker of the property, Richard Watson, 29, was arrested under the Anti-Terrorism Act in question while the entire area was evacuated and roads cordoned off with police tape. Watson was eventually released without charges, but it isn't clear what prompted the police to raid the party. Number 2. Carlisle Borough Police Department in Pennsylvania arrests Michael Myers. Naturally, arresting a character from a movie is impossible, so it's clear that the post is meant purely for humor. It's quite amusing to witness everyone embracing the Halloween spirit, even our dedicated police officers. The Facebook post from Carlisle Borough Police Department starts with a tongue-in-cheek tone, stating, "Last night, the Carlisle Borough Police Department apprehended Michael Myers, a 61-year-old fugitive all the way from Hadfield, Illinois." The narrative then goes on to explain that Michael's arrest came about when someone in the neighborhood reported a suspicious, extraordinarily tall trick-or-treater. When the police confronted this Halloween icon, they inquired about his long journey from Illinois to Pennsylvania, to which Michael responded with nothing more than ominous, heavy breathing. In a playful twist, the police department reveals that the person behind the mask is actually Union Fire Chief Brian Hamilton, who was simply aiming to spook a few of his fellow firefighters. Concluding the jest, the CBPD humorously hints that the genuine boogeyman might still be lurking out there, but hopefully, he's back in his home state by now. Number 3. Clown caught sleeping in stranger's bed with cocaine. In Marlborough, Vermont, a rather peculiar incident unfolded when Vermont State Police apprehended an individual who had chosen an unconventional disguise, a clown. The bizarre encounter transpired when a teenager, in the early hours of a Saturday at approximately 3:30 a.m., stumbled upon an unfamiliar man fast asleep in one of the upstairs bedrooms within a residence on Higley Hill Road. Upon arriving at the scene, the police identified the intruder as Sean J. Barber, age 43, who was evidently under the influence of alcohol and in possession of cocaine. Subsequently, Barber was taken into custody and now faces charges of unlawful trespass and cocaine possession. For a period until he regained sobriety, he was detained at the Southern State Correctional Facility. His upcoming court appearance has been slated for December 5th. Number 4. Indiana man dressed as Pikachu flee from police on a modified lawnmower. In the quaint town of Rochdale, Indiana, police officers found themselves in a peculiar predicament on Halloween night. They might have even yearned for a magical pokeball as they attempted to apprehend a wild Pikachu who was steering a lawnmower with reckless abandon through the town's narrow streets. The Rochdale Police Department disclosed that it was an unprecedented occurrence. An officer, on that memorable Monday night, embarked on an unexpected chase involving a 19-year-old dressed as Pikachu. This surreal event left both law enforcement and onlookers with a tale to recount, as documented in the department's press release. The suspect, disguised as the famous Pokemon character Pikachu, had commandeered a modified lawnmower towing a trailer. Meanwhile, the town streets were teeming with children donning ghostly and ghoul-like costumes in their quest for Halloween treats. A vigilant deputy managed to locate the erratic lawnmower operator and soon realized that this was no ordinary driver, but rather a rare Pokemon species, the lawnmower Pikachu. Attempting to execute a traffic stop on the peculiar mower, the deputy faced an unexpected response. Pikachu turned around, made a defiant gesture toward the deputy, and continued on his reckless path. The pursuit of Lawnmower Pikachu persisted for several blocks before the deputy prudently decided to discontinue the chase, given the increasingly erratic and perilous driving exhibited by the man. At one point, the Pikachu driver even attempted to collide with the deputy's vehicle, adding to the already bizarre situation. However, law enforcement was not to be foiled by Pikachu's antics. Police managed to ascertain the identity of the suspect concealed beneath the Pikachu costume. Subsequently, they arrived at his residence where, following a brief altercation, 2 officers successfully subdued the now Pikachu-less man and took him into custody. The Rochdale Police Department stated that the 19-year-old Rochdale resident now faces 2 counts of resisting law enforcement. Remarkably, there was no indication that alcohol or drugs played a role in the Pikachu-clad man's escapades, according to the Rochdale police. The department humorously added, "At this time, we believe Pikachu acted alone, and no other Pokemon characters were involved in this incident. However, we are not opposed to catching them all." Number 5. Daycare workers sentenced to jail after using Halloween masks to scare children. In a disturbing incident at a daycare center in Mississippi, 4 former employees now face felony child abuse charges for their involvement in videos that showed an employee wearing a Halloween mask resembling the notorious Scream movie character. Additionally, another ex-employee was apprehended on 2 misdemeanor charges related to the incident. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office brought forth charges against Sierra McCandless, Oceana Kilburn, Jennifer Newman, and Misty Cheyenne Mills, each facing 3 counts of felony child abuse. Tracy Hudson was charged with failure to report abuse as a mandatory reporter and simple assault, both misdemeanors. Whether they have secured legal representation remains unclear at this time. The shocking videos, which circulated on social media on October 5th, depict young children visibly terrified, crying, screaming, shaking, or attempting to flee within the Lil Blessings Child Care and Learning Center in Hamilton, Mississippi, located approximately 170 miles northeast of Jackson, the state capital. In one of the videos, a female staff member adorned a skeletal mask closely resembling the Ghostface character from the Scream horror film franchise. This masked employee roamed the center, confronting several preschool-age children. Another staff member claimed that the children had been misbehaving. The masked employee startled the children, who were inches away from her face, prompting some to react in terror, tears, or screams. One girl trembled while clutching a fork to her mouth, while another frightened girl covered her ears with her hands, and a boy fled the scene. Numerous online viewers expressed their deep distress upon watching the videos, with one Facebook user stating, "I can't believe they torture babies this way. This is disgusting." Monroe County Sheriff Kevin Crook voiced his own profound disturbance over the videos, saying in a Facebook post earlier this month, "As a dad and someone who has great compassion for those who can't defend themselves, I admit it was very hard to watch these videos. It made me sick at my stomach to think of the terror those kids were enduring. It still does." As for Sheila Sanders, the owner of the daycare center, attempts to reach her on Thursday were unsuccessful. She told the Monroe Journal that she was unaware of the videos when they were originally recorded, with one filmed in September and another earlier this month. Ms. Sanders disapproved of the behavior displayed by her former employees, stating, "The people that did those acts are no longer with us. They were fired. I wasn't here at the time and wasn't aware they were doing that. I don't condone that and never have. I just want to say it's been taken care of." On Thursday, the 4 employees facing felony charges appeared in court, with bonds set at $20,000 for Ms. McCandless and Ms. Kilburn and $15,000 for Ms. Newman and Ms. Mills, as reported by Sheriff Crook. Number 6. On Halloween night, concerned parents in South Chicago Heights began contacting the local police due to an unusual odor emanating from their children's candy bags. Alarmed, these parents claimed that the scent resembled that of marijuana. Prompted by these reports, the South Chicago Heights police launched an investigation suspecting that an individual had distributed gummy bears concealed within small bags previously utilized for holding cannabis. South Chicago Heights Police Chief Bill Joyce disclosed there even appeared to be residual marijuana material in the bags. Fortunately, no cases of illness were reported, but authorities are urging anyone who may have received these gummy bear bags to come forward. Joyce emphasized, "We get a lot of trick-or-treaters from other South suburbs, indicating the potential scope of the incident." The police swiftly identified the origin of these unlabeled gummy bear bags as Cherry Lane in the southern suburbs and subsequently apprehended a suspect who now faces 5 counts of child endangerment. The police chief also mentioned that the bags and candies have been dispatched to a crime lab for further examination, shedding light on the ongoing investigation into this perplexing Halloween incident. Number 7. Creepy clown hoaxes. While all of these may not be arrests from Halloween day or night, there was certainly horrific times during the clown chaos hoaxes fad that stemmed from clown Halloween costumes and seemed to be never-ending. Police reports bore a striking resemblance to a circus act where an improbable number of clowns emerged from a tiny car. Like an unending stream, they continued pouring in, spanning across multiple states. Clowns materialized in vans, concealed within dense woods, and lurked in the shadows, sometimes even chasing people or committing crimes. However, in recent weeks, diligent police efforts have shifted the narrative. Authorities have brought charges against 12 individuals for making false reports, threats, or engaging in menacing clown-related activities. Some cases were chalked up to imaginative children, mischievous teenagers playing pranks, or individuals with their own motives for contributing to the widespread hysteria. Tragically, at least one death was connected to a clown-related hoax. Concerns for safety led to the closure of schools in Reading, Ohio, following a woman's claim of being attacked by a clown-disguised assailant. In Coleraine Township, a youth was arrested in connection with a clown threat against students, as revealed in a police Facebook post. The first reports of peculiar clown sightings emerged in late August in Greenville County, South Carolina, with tales of costume figures attempting to lure children into the woods or unsettling residents. These reports soon spread like wildfire, reaching at least 6 other states: Alabama, Georgia, Maryland, New Jersey, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Even though the police struggled to verify the claims, they continued to multiply. The negative publicity took a toll, leading the Oregon Shriners Club's clown unit in Maryland to withdraw from an upcoming parade in Hagerstown. Experts weighed in, with some attributing the epidemic of sightings to mass hysteria fueled by people's fears and emotions feeding off each other. Others suggested a desire for connection to a nationally renowned news event as a motive for the outbreak. However, as the police delved deeper into the reports, the low risk of being exposed as a fraud began to evaporate. Among the notable cases, in LaGrange, Georgia, deputies investigated a report of people dressed as clowns near a white van, only to discover it was a hoax, leading to charges against Brandon J. Moody and Rebecca Moody for making false reports. In the same town, warrants were issued for 4 individuals who made terroristic threats, disrupting public schools with claims of creepy clowns in white vans, although their identities and arrests were not immediately available. In Flomaton, Alabama, credible threats to students at Flomaton High School via Facebook accounts belonging to Flomo Clown and Shoulda Clown led to charges against Michaela Smith and 2 juveniles. A 16-year-old high school student in Beauregard, Alabama, faced charges for making terrorist threats using a Facebook page called Caleb Clown. 2 teenagers in Henrico County, Virginia, were charged for chasing children while wearing clown masks. Reports of clown sightings by 4 students in Annapolis, Maryland, ages 7 to 9, were found to be unfounded upon re-interview by the police. Tragic consequences were realized in Reading, Pennsylvania, where a 16-year-old boy was fatally stabbed during a confrontation possibly incited by a prowler in a clown mask. The wave of clown-related incidents serves as a testament to the impact of mass hysteria and the complex interplay of fear, imagination, and the quest for attention in a digital age. Halloween arrests bonus. Dressing up as a monster or a zombie for Halloween could land you in hot water in Beijing this evening, as local authorities are concerned that such costumes might incite alarm. In recent years, expatriates living in Beijing had taken to organizing Halloween gatherings within the subway system. During the weekend preceding Halloween, individuals adorned in eerie attire would board Subway Line 2, toting bottles of beer and assorted cocktails. When subway security personnel attempted to intervene, they often found themselves engulfed in the sea of revelers, some of whom were even disguised as subway security guards. It's important to note that Halloween isn't traditionally celebrated in China, and the Beijing government actively discourages superstitions. The advisory cautioning against frightening subway commuters was prominently featured in the Beijing Times. Officials expressed apprehension that the macabre costumes could potentially trigger panic.